And hello to all friends, Potato is with you. And today I'm going to show you how to make just the best mana farm in Botany fashion for version 1.16.5. But before you start watching, be sure to subscribe to me and click on the bell so as not to miss new videos. To build this bombastic mana company, and moreover completely infinite and autonomous, you will need a lot of building blocks, a lot of glass, 8 ejectors, 2 hourglass pieces, 8 mana distributors, 33 mana pools. But you can do less. For ordinary chests, 14 funnels, 22 redstones, 33 of them, in general, as many as you have, and pools of mana. 8 recessive complements, 1 dominant. 8 flowers, it's up to you, depending on what you do. Either Gurmalisev, or you can make this company a flame on Endo. Only here, there is already a question of delays. On gourmets, you will need a delay of 3, and on the flame Endo, of 15 seconds. Well, of course, the question is fuel. What do you have more, coal or bread? I'll show you how to make both farms, so don't worry. Let's take all these items and start building. The farm, by the way, will look something like this. It's not clear at first, but let's break it down into small parts. In general, on the left, there is a part where we are issuing fuel and also processing it into mana, and on the right, there is a large battery and the main pool where all the mana will come from and where you will take it from. Here is such a farm, but it is small. It can be accommodated even in a chunk. By the way, fuel will be coming from above. And in general, this farm is suitable somewhere in the middle and late stages. To begin with, let's take our flowers. By the way, they are floating. I'm going to put on gourmet releases. That's how I put it through one block. Then, we put these ejectors on top of you. They should exactly look down on these gourmet releases. That's the way it is. Let's restore this and put a gourmet on top for now, and I'll break the post in the middle later. And the efficiency and productivity of this farm will depend on the length of this entire column, which we are building with you now. In other words, we are going to build with you for 8 gourmets, and now we will have the final layer, namely, I will put the ejectors, the last gourmet and the last ejectors already on top, because they will throw away. Look how. That is, this one works for this gourmet, this one for this one, and so on. Here, we have a total of 8 humirillis, and accordingly, 8 ejectors. Next, it will be important for us to properly power up these ejectors, because it's not so easy to do, but in fact, if you know, it's simple. So let me do it as follows. Here we will have glass. Here, that is, let's do the right part for now. Look, I put the glass here once, then 2, 3, 4, with a ladder like this. Then I put the 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and that's it. No more need. By the way, we don't even need the 8th one. So let's put here a dow stone. By the way, it is mandatory to put glass on the bottom. It may seem to you that there is not. Like here we have a connection. In fact, there is no connection here, because there is an ordinary building block here. Therefore, we put it exactly the same as mine. Here, we fill everything with redstone, here, and finally bring it to the last block. That's it. All of these right distributors, namely the ejectors, are powered. Well, more precisely, we brought just redstone to them. We do the same on the left, mirrored only. That is, look again at the 4 building blocks. There is a stem of glass, and so we do it in a staggered order, or a ladder, whatever you want to call it. That's the way it is. How much is here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 glasses. Everything fits together, so we put redstone. All of everything is filled in here, and brought to the very top. That's what we're getting so far. Next, let's immediately put a watch with you. Namely, they will need to be put. Look, here is our front part, and the second gourmet. And we put a watch on the right. Here, we have the front part all the same. The left gourmet is the second, and we put it here to the stone and the watch. In other words, this all looks symmetrical with us. Later, we will throw sand here, but not now, because it's still early. We just won't have anything working. In the meantime, let's take the mana distributors and put them right in front of the gourmetless. That is, here, we put 1 distributor in front of each gourmetless. By the way, you can put it in Elvish, it doesn't matter. Because here we have the mana output of each gourmet will not be so large that it will be lost, so you can usually bet. By the way, we can already remove them and immediately put mana pools in front of distributors, also in front of everyone like this. By the way, right away, let me tell you what you need to tie this flower here, each gourmet to his distributor. Otherwise something may just work wrong, or they just won't even work. We do the same with the left part, that is, here and here. Everything is fine. Now, we are taking sparks and also supplements to these sparks. We put these sparks over each pool, right over each one in general, and we supplement each of these sparks with a recessive complement. It is recessive. In other words, these pools will give mana. Where they will be given, we will decide for ourselves a little later. And although let's better do this whole thing even now. Let's put 6 mana pools here, also 6 more mana pools 2 blocks higher, 6 mana pools here, And finally, 6 mana pools here. As you know, they store a lot of mana, but since we still have a generator, that will be very efficient, and, accordingly, it will generate a lot of mana, and it will have to be stored somewhere. And that's why we immediately make a large battery, so that we have enough of it with a reserve, and put a search cream here over each pool. And look what's going to happen with us. When in these pools, which are located right in front of the distributor, that is, let's say this pool, but we have a recessive one, and it will immediately give to the nearest pools, which we have not improved in any way. In other words, all these 6 pools at this level, 6 pools at this level, and so on, will dissipate just the same. By the way, you can extend this whole thing really very far. Although here we will then have a problem with the kinship signal, because it may not be enough. But the whole thing is also solved simply by an ordinary repeater. And then let's make the main pool right away. To do this, let's say I'll put a spark over him somewhere here, and make him dominant. That is, look, the dominant one will pump out the opposite from all the pools that we do not have all the mana. That is, look at how many 6 there are here, 6 by 6, 4 by 24, 24 pools. And mana will be pumped out of it, and everyone will go into this one big cool pool. And from here, we will just take all the mana. Let's say we power up something, charge our dredger or something like that. Well, almost the whole farm is ready. It remains only to make the fuel supply. To do this, we fly in from behind, and here we have just the same free space, and this is not for nothing. Because here we will put funnels, chests and so on with you. Look, we are putting funnels with you first of all, connecting them to our ejectors here, so that everyone looks at their ejector, and it will also be necessary to connect them. Namely, we just put the funnels in such a way that look, here they don't seem to connect, they actually connect, and it looks down. It will transmit everything below, here also everything below, here even lower and shorter, in this way we do on the left side. That's what we get. So it alternates, that is, it looks to the left, it looks down, it's to the left, it's down and so on. We will put double chests on top of you. Here, 1, 2, and also, although no, let's better use this side here, 1, 2, and also 1, 2. Here we will throw everything with fuel. What kind of fuel? In this case, we have gourmets, and it will be bread. A lot of bread. Let me do it. I'm going to fill this whole chest right here, and it's all really going to leak very quickly, while it's distributed into all these ejectors. And it's probably even better to load everything manually for the first one. But then when everything is all filled up, it will be possible to automate everything. But in principle, I did it, and probably it would even be possible to activate the whole thing. But in fact it's better to close all these holes here. Because there may be such a case, if we have an endoflame, then everything will just spit out too quickly. And most likely something can fly away somewhere, or it just won't have time to eat there, and in short, the coal can fly away somewhere. And to do this, we will do the following. Just take the glass, and build up all these holes. Namely, look, here we will spit everything down, and it can fly away, both there, if we did not close it, and here, somewhere ahead. Therefore, we do not forget to close this whole case. Here we will also close it. We will make a column of glass here. We will close it here as well. That's it, we closed it on the left side. We do the same with the right one. Namely, here we close it, here we also lead. Here we bring it to the end, and do the same from behind. Here we close it here, pop, and that's it. Great, now we can even activate the whole thing. To do this, I take sand, 3 pieces of sand on the left, 3 pieces on the right, here, and also here. We're all watching what's going on. We have everything spat out there, and the humuluses begin to work. And so everything is going to haul very quickly. Mana is already starting to arrive, and just look at this beauty. It's just some kind of space. In short, mana enters these pools, it goes into the accumulator, like this pools, and from the accumulator, it already goes to the main pool, and it is already beginning to fill up very rapidly. It looks very beautiful. Even just for the sake of this, you can build it all. Just look at the really very beautiful stars that seem to be flying. And think about it, if you build such a company even more, higher, wider, or even more pieces of these. In short, it's really epic. By the way, they devour very quickly, 1 loaf every 3 seconds. Yes, it goes away of course really very quickly, but again, mana is generated really a lot. And as I think you all know, gourmets are simply unrealistically effective. Well, let's also analyze the farm and endoflame. You never know if you like this flower more. To do this, we will need again 8 flowers, then endoflame, and the sand is a little more than 15 pieces, and of course coal. By the way, to some extent, it may even be easier to extract coal if you have some kind of crete, because I think that you have already seen my video, which may have already been released, or maybe not yet. But in general, there my subscriber made such a farm a tree. This tree was all melted down, and the whole thing went just the same to the endoflame, and worked very very effectively. Let's turn this whole thing off for now, and build a farm on endoflame. To do this, let's break the front part here, and replace each flower. Yes, in fact, these farms are very similar, We just changed the flowers. Here is also the Endoflame here. We can even close it now. Great, the right honor is replaced, and we do the same on the left. We open the whole thing, replace the flower, so we delete this one. We also delete this one, and finally, the last one. We can close everything now. Great, and the last thing left is to change the fuel. Yes, of course, it will be a little more dreary, because bread comes here endlessly, but let's do it. Phew, I did it all. Now it remains only to throw the sand there, namely for 15 seconds, each delay should be. Here is the left one, and also the right one. That's it. How will it all work? We are waiting with you for 15 seconds. So the half is already there, a little more, and let's spit it out already, and a little more, and yes, finally. Look, they work a little bit with a delay, so we put up glass flaps like this with you, so that the whole thing doesn't fly away anywhere. And about once every 15 seconds, they will just eat this coal, which will spit out and create mana. Let's see how much mana we have there. So we already have a pool that's filling up, and we're also looking. They really don't seem to be working it all out here, because they work more powerfully, and by the way, it's probably even worth doing a little more delay here. But I left this one, and it's fine in principle. But again, here we have such a very beautiful beauty. Yes, it's a beautiful beauty, but it's actually true. It's really very cool. Look how everything flies here. By the way, it's very funny how one of the embers jumped out here. Well, as you know, this farm is also very effective on these flowers. Therefore, choose what is more convenient for you, coal or food. You can, by the way, not bread, but some apple there I don't know. By the way, you can plant an automatic chicken farm, or beef, or maybe even some potato company in honor of me. Well, as I said, this farm will fit somewhere in the middle and late stages of the game. Well, there was a potato with you. Be sure to subscribe, like, write comments, and also click on the bell so as not to miss new videos.